Hi, I'm Raya.
And I'm Brandon.
And you're watching
More Love with R&B. Yeah.
Nothing yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry.
Today we are talking about actually something very serious, but it's something that you probably heard recently, and it's called
emotional damage.
Yeah, so this is something that has been a popular meme. It's very popular. It's been going around. However, this is something that actually is really real, especially in marriages.
Agreed.
And so we wanted to kind of quickly, I'm going to try, to be quick about addressing
Quick.
emotional damage within marriages, and just, hopefully give you some tips on what to do if you and or your spouse is experiencing emotional damage.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like it.
So before we give you the tips, we have to give you our definition of emotional damage. Okay?
Yes.
So, from our point of view, emotional damage is anything that you are currently experiencing or anything that you have experienced that is causing you to not be able to rightly emotionally connect.
Ooh, good.
Okay?
Good foundation.
So, I'm sure there's other definitions, and those are not wrong. Ours isn't wrong either.
But y'all can have those. But we dealing with this while we here.
So based on our definition, we're just going to give you some tips. Okay.
Sounds good. Let's go.
So the first tip that we have for you.
Quick tip.
The first quick tip that we have for you is you have to admit that you have a problem.
Yes. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
So a lot of times people do not know that they are bringing baggage, emotional damage into their marriage. And I remember when we first got married, I just started acting different. Now, we dated for 7 years and was engaged for like 7 months. And I was cool. But
or so we thought.
As soon as we got married, I started changing unknowingly, and Brandon was like, there's something going on.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we got married and until you pointed stuff out that I realized that I was carrying baggage from previous relationships that I didn't even know was still hanging on.
Right. And I would also say emotional damage does not just have to be from relationships.
That's true.
There are a lot of times we do carry emotional damage from other traumatic things that happen in life that also affect a marriage.
That is so true.
I think just, again, like you said, admitting that you have a problem is not just like, well, nah, I dated like 4 people and we all ended amicably and we cool, you know what I'm saying? I still cool with my baby's moms, you feel me? Like, that's not what we're talking about. We're saying that a lot of times in life, we all go through a lot of different traumatic things. And so whether you've seen some kind of violence or experienced a loved one, like a parent or a sibling, pass away at a young age, or dealt with a lot of harassment in school as a kid or whatever, there can be a lot of different versions of emotional damage that don't just surround relationships.
That is so true. And so these tips that we're going to give is for both the person that has the emotional damage and the person that sees that their spouse or significant other may have the emotional damage. So once you guys have admitted that you have a problem, or lovingly admitted to your spouse, hey, there's a problem. The next thing that you have to do is sympathize with each other. And that's both of you.
Yeah.
So that means that the person who sees that their spouse has a problem, sympathize and know that, okay, I realize you have a problem. We talked about it and we realized what the problem actually is. I feel your pain. I feel bad. I sympathize. And a lot of times the issue is when we realize that our spouse has brought this baggage that has nothing to do with us, we're like, dude, that's your problem. Like, go handle that. This is so inconvenient. Right. I don't want to deal with this. But that is, number one, it's going to make your spouse feel alone. It's going to make the healing process that much more difficult because the support isn't there. Right. So sympathize with your spouse.
Yeah, I would say a good question that you can ask yourself when your spouse is dealing with emotional damage. One good question you can ask yourself before you determine whether or not you're going to be present and help and all that. Do you care? Because compassion goes a long way.
Yeah.
So if you can just get to that point, then it's like, yo, we're together. It's one thing to say like, okay, well, your trauma or your issue, your pain, whatever, I did not cause and I wasn't there. Those are true things. But doesn't mean that I don't have to be there or I shouldn't be there now.
Yeah.
Because if I can listen, I'm sorry. If I can be a part of the healing that why would you not want to do?
We vowed to do life with one another.
I'm just saying, I want to be
a part. Life.
Right. I wasn't there when the trauma happened because I might have hit somebody, but I'm trying to be here when the healing happens. So
yeah,
be present.
Yeah. And vice versa. Okay. Your spouse is sympathizing with you, the person who has a trauma, but you need to sympathize with your spouse. I know and I'm aware now that this trauma is affecting our relationship.
That's good. Yeah.
Because a lot of people feel like,
oh no, I had this trauma, so everybody catered to me.
And you're not sympathizing with the fact that this directly affects your spouse. And that is tough because this wasn't something that you knew to deal with before you got married. And I'm not saying that shame on you. You didn't deal with this before you got married because a lot of times
you don't even know.
We don't know that this number one, we don't know that we have trauma. And number two, let's just say that we did, right? Like, oh, my parents were born poor and that really affects how I see money and stability and stuff like that. So we know that we kind of have a feeling, but we didn't know how it was going to affect our marriage. Now, right. You know what I'm saying? So now that you know that you have brought trauma, man, sympathize with the fact that when I try to figure this out and do whatever, right. this is gonna affect you, and I am sorry.
There it is.
Equal sympathy.
That part.
Compassion on both parts.
I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That leads me to my next point, okay? You both need to put things in place to minister to your marriage, to strengthen your marriage while you deal with this emotional damage.
Okay.
So now that you both know that you're going to be directly affected by this emotional damage, this emotional baggage that you're bringing, make sure you put things in place to strengthen your marriage. This is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Okay? This is already tough. The fact
sure.
that we both are aware, that means things are happening that is affecting the marriage.
Yep.
So you need to put things in place to strengthen your marriage. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But make sure that this whole situation doesn't become about the emotionally damaged person.
Ooh, good stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You still have a spouse that needs love, attention, all the things.
All the things. We need to be honest. If we're going to be honest, we need all the things. Everybody needs all the things.
Everybody needs all the things. And so make sure you put things in place to continue to make each other a priority. Okay? You're a priority as you work through your trauma. Your spouse is a priority as they help you work through this trauma. Because they're going to be giving and giving and giving. And they're going to need to be replenished.
Well,
okay.
That'll preach right there. I'm sorry. But I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Replenishment.
And so the last part of this is seek help.
Get some help.
And again, all of our tips are for both of you.
Right.
Okay. So be responsible, accept responsibility that this trauma is occurring, and seek help. Now, The reason why this is also the spouse's responsibility is because sometimes the brokenness can keep one person from being able to say, I'm going to go out and seek help.
Yeah.
For this. And so because this trauma is affecting your marriage, you may need to seek help on behalf of your spouse.
Got it.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's
and work together. And again, it may not be your problem in that this stemmed from you. It could have stemmed from something that happened 30 years ago. But now you are married. It's your problem. Deal with it like it's yours.
Right. I agree with that. And I would also say, when it comes to what does seeking help for both parties look like? Obviously, we will always say, see someone who is professional and is trained and licensed and degreed and all the things to help your specific situation. You also have something that we like to call marriage community, where sometimes, especially for the spouse that is helping the other spouse deal with trauma, sometimes you might need an outlet to be able to say like, yo, this is frustrating. This is tiring. Should I even stick around for this? Or what is my involvement? What is my role? There can be other couples and people in your life that can kind of help you through what that looks like. Or sometimes you just need somebody to talk to. Sometimes you're just like, I just need somebody else to know what I'm feeling right now so that I can get it out. And part of that could be a marriage community of people that you trust, where you guys they can walk with you through this time. I'm not saying they're going to necessarily prescribe anything, or that they, not that they're doctors or whatever, but that you have another couple that can kind of like sympathize with what you're going through and be there for both parties. So that you guys don't feel alone. I think a lot of times people deal with their traumas, but they feel alone. It's like, well, it's just me dealing with this. It's like, no, like I got you. I'm gonna share the load with you. So I got you.
Yeah. So that's our 4 quick tips on how to deal with
emotional damage.
So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up if it was helpful to you.
Yes.
We hope that these quick tips gave you something to think about.
Quick tips.
And also, please make sure that you share it with someone who may be going through some trauma. They could be married, in a relationship, or not. Maybe they need to understand, like, hey, before I get into a marriage, I might need to just see.
Just saying.
If I have anything that I need to deal with before I get married, or if I do, this is something that I can do within my marriage. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye.